Bam, we're live. Welcome. We are on day 44, and we have had a lot going on. All right, let me just get the table there. Good to have you guys. Thank you for joining. Man, today's a good one. I'm excited, and I want to get into it as quick as possible. We're going to try to cover a lot. I'm going to do it in a slightly different format because this one's going to hit home for some of you. Some of you are going to be excited and see the possibilities, and others of you, it might be a little challenging. And here's why. Most people have no idea what really goes on behind the scenes in a business, right? So if you've ever been to a show and you've got actors, what people don't understand is what's going on behind the scenes and how much it took, right? How many hours of practice that those actors, or if you go to a sporting event, right? If you watch a major league baseball player, NFL football player, they have practiced thousands of hours and they have dedicated their lives to this one thing, right? And they do it well and they make it look easy. So when they talk about it, they're like, yeah, you just throw a football, right? You just throw the baseball. You don't understand that behind the scenes, they've spent years honing that craft, tweaking the tiniest things. That baseball player, he's adjusted the grip 100,000 different times to figure out how to get that curveball just right. So when I come on and talk about like marketing and having a funnel and using AI, you just hear simple words. I want you to understand that behind the scenes, it is hours of work. Now, that may overwhelm you. Some of you like to say, hey, I want to do this by myself. Have at it. Please, by all means, you should understand it. And also understand that there is a reason why companies like mine exist, because we have spent the years of fine tuning the process so that it works right out of the box, right? And then we can tweak it even more to get you specific results. Whereas if you start from scratch, you may find it to be challenging, overwhelming. And this is what happens. People will say, yeah, we watched one of those videos. We tried to do what he said. It doesn't work. You didn't work. You think a half hour, you're going to fix a problem in a business? Come on now. Wake up, little sleepy. Wake up. So anyway, I want to share this because when a lot of you are online, understand that the companies that are selling solutions and some of the other people that do something similar to me, they want you to believe that it's that easy. All you have to do is sign up for this program and boom, you're going to get the results. The truth is, if you only knew how hard it was going to be for you to try to figure it all out on your own, you'd never do it, right? Because it is a battle. It's a struggle. There is a reason why only this percent of people survive in business, because it's that hard. If it were easy, everybody would do it. And to put this in perspective, look at America and look at the amount of people that are in shape today. It's that. Why? Because it's hard to be in shape. It's hard to make good food choices. It's hard to regulate your emotions. It's hard to exercise. So what's easy is eating like crap, not exercising, and gaining weight, and then complaining about it, right? So when you look, that's why we have an obese epidemic across the country. Okay, if you think of businesses, it's a similar fashion. The reason that 90% of businesses can't survive and last is because it is hard. It takes discipline. You have to do certain things day in, day out. Now, some of you operators, aspiring entrepreneurs, business owners, you have that drive. You have that thing where you're like, hey, I can show up every day. I'm dedicated. I'm in for the long haul. I get it that it's a marathon, not a sprint. Awesome. And if you're not the idea guy, if you're just more of the steady Eddie, and yet you see other people bringing in these ideas, and to you think it's chaotic, you think they're crazy, you're like, they don't know what they're doing. Understand that they're the ones making you the future success, because there are people that are visionaries and see the future and bring it in, and then they bring it home to the steady Eddie operator, and they hand it to you and say, here you go, ma'am. Here you go, sir. Put this system in place into your business and you can crush it. But to you, it gets scary because they don't think the way you think. And if they thought the way that you thought, then they couldn't bring you the results that you need that you can't get on your own. Do you see how it all starts to come together? All right. So I share all that because sometimes when I'm talking to people, I see the deer in headlights sign go up because I'm a different breed in the business world. I see things that I can grab from other areas and bring them in to make a business run successfully, right? It's why my remodeling business, when I started, was small and nobody knew it, to be able to grow to pass other companies that were much bigger and everyone knew, and I could watch them go out of business as I was able to maintain and stay in business, right? And then move into other areas and do the same thing. So some people have that gift, other people have a different gift, and it takes a team. There is generally not a single person that makes it work. Not one of these large successful tech companies. Sure, you might hear of the main person like a Jeff Bezos, a Mark Zuckerberg, uh, Steve Jobs, right? We hear one name, but they all have a team behind them, right? Charlie Munger, he had somebody, right? Everyone has a partner. Whether that partner works directly within the company or you subcontract, you need a partner. And usually the business owner has to partner with somebody that has a different style and personality than they do and has different gifts and talents that they can bring to the organization. That's how you make a whole person. It's the reason why a lot of people get into a relationship, because the other person tends to complement you and make you feel whole, right? They fill a void in your life. One of you has this style personality, the other has this. One person's a mess, one person's neat. One person likes to sleep in, the other likes to get up early, right? And you balance each other out. One likes to spend, one likes to save. So what happens is you're on opposite ends of the spectrum, but when you get together, you bring it in and you balance each other, and that's where you get success. So when it comes to things like business, you need someone to bring it together for you. So hopefully you see how all this works together. All right, this is what's exciting about tonight. So tonight is day 44, and what I want to share with you is most people have what's called the marketing roller coaster, and this is their business. You have, or for some people, it's like this: it goes down. They don't know when it's ever going to stop going down. It might start to level out. And what happens is they don't recognize that it's going down because they get a job. So to them, it does this, but then it goes back down some more. They get another job. They're like, oh, I'm coming back. But they don't realize they're falling farther than they're coming up, even though they're still getting jobs. They just don't see it. They don't see how they're slowly going like that. So eventually they're done. Right? You see how that works? You start to witness a dip in your business, so you're dropping. All of a sudden, you get a lifeline, you get a job. Okay, cool. And you start to steady out for a minute, but then you start dying a little bit more. And then you get a job and you steady out, and you're like, oh, I'm starting to turn the wheel, and then you start dying again. This is the flow for most businesses. They don't peak. Once you start dying, it's a slow death or a quick death, right? If you want to take that out and have more of this, where it's just ebb and flow, you got to come up with your marketing plan. You got to figure that part out. And that's what we're going to talk about. All right. So, newsflash: stop relying just on word of mouth. Okay. And random social media posts. If that's your MO, then you should not be surprised that your business is slowly doing that. Just newsflash. If I'm sorry that no one else has broken this to you and shared this news with you, somebody has to. Okay. If I got into the construction field in some 20 years ago, and let me just explain to you, that's what happens. Okay. And there's a reason why most struggle to make it 3 years, if that, and few, if any, get past 7 or 9. All right. You got to learn to market like a real business so that you never ride the feast or famine roller coaster again. People are like, well, I don't need to market. Everybody knows me. If that were true, companies like Ford, Honda, Toyota, Coca-Cola, Doritos, Best Buy, whatever, Amazon, why does Amazon advertise? You would think everybody knows about Amazon. Well, it needs to be front of mind. If you're not advertising and marketing, you won't be front of mind. Yeah, somebody might know about you, but in the moment when they need to make the decision, if somebody else is in front of them screaming louder, that's who gets the attention, not you. So why this matters? Most contractors do not have a real plan at all. No plan. Well, actually, their plan is this: I'm going to wing it and work on word of mouth, right? You're just going to rely on word of mouth. You're going to hope that your Facebook post and Instagram here and a couple little random ads will save you, right? And you only market when you get desperate. So you get desperate, so you market, you get a job, you're busy, you're like, oh, this is good, I'm surviving. And then I got to get a job. So you market, you get a job. That doesn't work. A real business is like this. It constantly has leads coming in. They're like, yeah, I'll take this one. I'll take that one. Bill, you go run this one. John, take that one. And you go back and forth. That's what a real business looks like. And that's what a real marketing plan does for you. And a real marketing plan lets you turn it on and grow it. Now, you don't turn it off per se, but you can throttle it. You can dial it back a little bit when you need to, right? Maybe you're getting too busy. Maybe you just can't handle it. Maybe you got to learn how to become a better manager. All right. So with that said, let's see. Now, so if you've ever wondered why you're stuck on that lead flow roller coaster, the truth is just putting a post here and there and a couple little ads, that's not a marketing plan, right? If you say you own a real business, you need to market it like a real business. So how I learned real marketing. Before I got into the remodeling world, I got very fortunate. It was random. I took a job out of college and I got to work for one of the best marketing advertising companies in the world. And they taught me how to go teach it to other businesses and sell them on advertising campaigns, print, TV, radio, internet. Right. And I went around to small businesses around the country and would do this. And from day one, I learned that if I'm a business owner, I don't have to rely on luck. I was able to build a real marketing campaign. I'm talking mailers, advertisements in print, right? Maybe a small TV commercial, having a website, door hangers, magnets, shirts, job signs, and canvassing neighborhoods. This is now what you call a campaign. Okay. And here's what happened. When I first started my remodeling business, I was brand new in the market. I didn't have word of mouth, but I had a marketing and advertising background. I advertised and I would get called by clients and I would show up at their house and I would say, well, how come you called us? And they would say, well, we were referred to Bill. But Bill's been in business like 10 years and he's slow. It takes him like a year to get to the next project. And our friend really liked Bill, but we don't have that kind of time. We want to deal with someone who can get our job going because we want to enjoy our kitchen this year, not in 2 years when Bill can get to it. So I was landing Bill's referrals and Bill never even knew that that referral existed. And yet Bill walks around telling everybody that he relies on word of mouth. And I would just sit there and chalk up another one saying, well, we just got another one of Bill's clients and Bill didn't even know it existed because the homeowner never even called Bill, who she was referred to, because she asked the other homeowner, what was it like to work with Bill? Well, Bill has a real long backlog. Bill's a little slow. Bill doesn't have a website. No, Bill just works off of this way. And the homeowner's like, damn, we want to have our kitchen done this year. That's why you need a marketing campaign, because you need to be front of mind and you're going to take all those other clients so you can be the new customer. That's how I was able to start brand new business and go out and compete against the 10-year, the 30-year-old contractor and take their clients and they don't even realize they're happening. Okay. So that is how a marketing campaign starts to impact your business. Now, lessons to learn here, right? You are losing jobs that you don't even know you lost. That's just the reality. If you own a business right now and you have a list of like 100 clients and you aren't doing anything to market to them, they are referring people and they are actually probably hiring other contractors to do other work that you don't even know about because they kind of forgot about you because you forgot about them. So stop relying on luck. Build a steady, predictable lead flow. So grown-up contractor looks like this. You have that consistent online presence. You have yard signs. Your trucks have magnets. You do postcards. You have an email campaign. right? You send out flyers. You run seasonal campaigns. So how you can do this is you have to pick something core to you, something specific. Like, do we have a target neighborhood? So for me, I noticed that about 15 minutes away were a lot of wealthy homeowners. These are people that had like $1 million properties, and I wanted to work for them. So I hired a company to give me the addresses and the names of all those homeowners. And then what we did was we set up a postcard mailer and we sent it out to that specific zip code. And then I would either myself, one of my salespeople, or my project manager, we would then go into the neighborhood and hand out door hangers and flyers and just meet people and talk to them. And here's what happens: homeowners see the truck in the neighborhood that's lettered. The homeowner sees our guy in the field walking around. The homeowner gets the flyer at their door. The homeowner gets the mailer that we sent. The homeowner then goes online, because that's what they do. They Google you, research you. They see our website, and then they go, I'm going to give them a call. That is how the campaign works. You have to stay in front of the client and be front of mind. Think about the way you went and bought the last thing that you needed to buy and you didn't know who you're going to buy it from. Most likely you went on to Google and you typed it in. You didn't necessarily go around and talk to 7 neighbors and say, you had your kitchen done 10 years ago. Who did that? No, it's 2 a.m. You can't sleep. You know, you want to get your kitchen done. You Google it and you go to the first website that looks good. And then you want to fill out their questionnaire possibly because you don't really want to talk to them. If you don't have an online order form that your clients can fill out, if you think they're going to call you over the phone, do you know that millennials don't even pick up the phone to call anybody because they have anxiety? They can't do it. They do everything online. If you can't accept a lead online, how are you going to survive 5 years from now in business? My parents, right? They're in their 70s. They're not going to be the client that's going to still call you in 5 years. It's going to be like my generation and the generation below. We want to do it online. So if you don't have a process that's automated behind the scenes, you're kidding yourself if you think you're still going to be around in a few years. So these are things that make a difference. All right. And with an advertising campaign, you have to set it up so that you have consistency, right? One of the things when I first got into marketing, I would show clients how you do what's called a tree. You go around the circle and you do certain things over and over again. And that's how it becomes front of mind, right? Homeowners will take a mailer if you put a coupon code and they'll stick it on their fridge, right? They might put it on the cork board. And then you follow up by putting a flyer at their door and it re-triggers them. Okay, so what else can we do here? We will use AI to create the first professional 90-day marketing plan. So here you are. You're a remodeling contractor. You want to stop relying on word of mouth and you want to start marketing like a professional. You want it to build you a 90-day marketing plan that includes local visibility, yard signs, trucks, Google, online consistency, direct outreach, right? Make it simple, repeatable, and designed to generate steady leads. Show me a weekly and monthly plan that I can follow. So that's your challenge, right? You're going to generate the 90-day marketing plan. You're going to choose the 3 core actions to stick with for the next 90 days. You're going to pick your plan and you're going to put it on the wall so that your team and you know that you're serious. And then you're going to commit to it. So remember, you don't lose jobs because you're not good. You lose jobs because no one knows you exist, or worse, they never call you. Market on purpose, lead flow on purpose, build the business you said that you wanted. Now, let's talk about some digital stuff. I want to show you something. You may not enjoy it, but if you are in the, let's say you do kitchens, you're a kitchen design company, you're a kitchen installer. So we have something called Dream Perfect Kitchens. You go here, you put in an email address, and boom, this is how the homeowner can start shopping. Your kitchen, the heart of your home. Let's face it, right? You work hard, you spend a good amount. Oh, I want to share this screen with you. Please forgive me. I was jumping ahead and I don't have my screen shared with you guys. All right. So let's go back. So here's what we have. We have something called Dream Perfect Kitchens. And once the homeowner gets in here, they can start going through. This is an automated process, right? This is selling 24/7. And you could have this set up for your business. Now, this one's set up for people that do kitchens. It can just easily be done for decks, bathrooms, additions, basements, entertainment centers, whatever you want. All right. So we include a little video, right, that helps people understand. It's embedded. Boom. We have our unique process because we want homeowners to understand why we do it differently. We talk about the process. We do what's called the feasibility, discovery, design thing where we like to come out. Okay, so we explain that. And then we want them to tell us about, what are you doing? Oh, a new addition with a kitchen remodel. Oh, you have a single family home, right? So we have these drop downs that people can pick from. I already selected a few for you. Let's say the house was built in 1910. Boom. And then what side? Oh, it's a colonial. Boom. See, we have the houses for them to pick. Okay, now we get into the 3 types of kitchen remodels, and we explain this. There's the minor, there's the major, and there's the upscale. And then they can get more details if they want, right? Just like that. So then we give them guesstimates. There's ballpark pricing on each, okay? Now, let's say they want to do the major kitchen. Okay, what's their experience? Oh, this is their first time hiring. Perfect. We want to know that. Tell us, why are you doing it? Well, we want a different style. Okay, awesome, right? And then they're going to have to list something like, what's the most important thing? Let's say they say price. Oh, great. Thank you for sharing that with us. Which of the following reasons is your primary motivator? And they might say quality. Okay, perfect. Thank you. What else is important to you? Well, they might say, need it done this year. Awesome. Thank you. Then, have you thought about how you are paying for this? This is key. They're going to say, oh, I have my own financing and financing through a bank. I would like your company to help me get the project financed. Awesome. Now we know. And then it's going to say, why have you not already hired a kitchen remodeler? We're not sure who to hire. Don't know who is a good or bad choice. Awesome. Do you already have your new kitchen design? See, we want to know this. No, I do not have a kitchen design. Perfect. And then what concerns do you have in regards of having your kitchen? We're concerned that the contractor won't finish on time. Perfect. Thank you. What fears do you have? We will not get the quality that we are paying for. All right. And then here, now, may we reach you to see if our company is a good match for your project? So now if they want to proceed, they've already given us the information. And if they want to keep going, they real quick fill out this. And give me a second. Hold on 1 second. Too many screens. 106. City, Towson, state. So right now I'm just filling out the form in the background. You don't need to see all the address information that I'm putting in here. Okay, so once they enter their contact details, it asks us for their time frame this week, their budget, if they want to enter that, 45K, other. And there you go. So we recommend that their next process is a feasibility design agreement. And then we talk to them about just some real quick common client remodeling problems. Right. And then we talk about top client remodeling complaints about the contractor they hired. And then we talk about how to avoid the most common contractor homeowner issues. Hire a renegade. That's who this site was developed for. Right? Why a renegade? Thank you for reaching out. We are different by design. You work hard, and it is time you treated yourself to the best remodeling experience. Boom. Your details have been saved. So now we have everything, and then behind the scenes, our automated system starts catching up with them. Okay. So This is where it gets important that you have some sort of an automated system on the back end, right, to keep up with all of that. Give me 1 second so I stop sharing. All right. And some things you want to understand without getting too technical, but there are this whole process, right? So you need to have this digital ad platform, and I know this one's a little long. I'll keep going real quick. But once you get the person's attention from your ad online, they go and search you. You want to bring them to a page, and we call it like a funnel page. And then that's how, because now all kinds of things can start happening. We can do pixel tracking, audience targeting, algorithm optimized delivery, like all this stuff's happening behind the scenes now. And so when the prospect lands after clicking the ad is important to us, right? So then we can have clean and we can be focused and we can have systems on the back end that are built to help convert. So we can put in a nice call to action, which is we call the CTA. We have the short structured intake form that asks clients questionnaires. That was a long one. We can do shorter ones. And we have on other processes, we can do an optional video or testimonial snippet, right? And this is where the leads start to filter themselves, right? Because we're figuring out their project type, their timeline, potentially their budget, their readiness, right? It helps us prioritize their leads. And then we start on our systems. We have AI that's helping respond and formulate the response that's going back out in an email, right? Because we're using things called triggers, workflows. This is all happening behind the scenes. It's technical. You don't have to know about it. You can if you want to. But understand that we have dynamic text and email templates for different responses. We have agent workflows. That way, different people in the team can be alerted when a lead comes in, right? We're using APIs and CRM integration so that we can store that lead data automatically. All of this is happening behind the scenes, right? So understand that your lead nurture and your campaign workflows are part of a lead process. Not all leads convert right away. Nurturing matters, and your AI system can help you run all of that. So we put in like a multi-touch drip campaign. It's a combination of doing some email and some text messaging. We do some retargeting ads to help you stay visible, okay, and showing up on the web. Some of you might be seeing some of that from me. Maybe not. It just depends on how the algorithm's finding you and what your level of interest and maybe what you've seen from my content and you've clicked on it, right? There's behavior-based triggers. So there's different ways that you click on a site and what forms you've completed. We can do some optional items. So you can do like a ringless voicemail. We can do a chat bot. You can have some smart reminders, right? There are successful campaigns that will use data and they get improved over time. So understand that when you first start one of these campaigns in the beginning, we have to build a lot on the back end to help it make it work for you. And it takes some time. There's a lot that goes into this. But if you stick with it, the 3 months that we initially start with, you'll really start to see the results. There are people right now that we're working with in our program that we are throttling back their leads at different times during the year because they have too many leads. Okay, if they don't have the business, depending on their business structure. And it's nice because they can turn it up and throttle it back. We can put a few more dollars into the ad campaign. We can take some out. We can send a bunch of more mailers. We can hold back on the mailers, right? We can do some more neighborhood canvassing. We can hold back on the neighborhood canvassing. But you keep the majority of the system in place and working. And once you have it set up and built, that's as easy it works. So understand that for all this to work, you need a dashboard for your KPIs. What's your cost per lead? What's your conversion rate? You need algorithm adjustments to improve your targeting. You got to do some A/B testing on your ads, your landing pages, and your messaging, right? So we literally have 2 ads, 2 landing pages, 2 email messages, and it takes an A/B approach. This person gets that one, the next one gets this one, that one, and we go back and forth. So the more volume of leads that you have coming in, the better we can see the results. And then we can say which one's working better. And then going forward, we take that one. And then we're constantly doing that and reiterating because you don't want to just run the old one tired thing. Okay. We can do attribution tracking to see where your best leads are coming from. So the bottom line, this winning ad to funnel campaign, right? It's not just an ad and a form. It is this, what we call, like, it's a full digital ecosystem. And you have smart funnels, you have AI driven triggers and workflows, and you have data tracking and automated campaigns, right? And this is how you attract the right leads. You weed out the wrong ones, and you book only the projects that move your business forward. All right. So I appreciate you guys being here. I know it's a lot, and I share all that so that you can sit back and say, man, maybe we should just call the Remodeling Academy and they could set this up for us. And that's what we do. So we could set this up for you. And you don't have to know all that. You just have to understand that you want your business to stop being chaotic and going up and down, and that you're ready to have consistent lead flow, and then sit back. Think about this. What things do you want in your future that you don't have now that your business could potentially pay for if you just had enough business? And if you knew the way to invest into the marketing and advertising that would work to get you that business, you could start working today to earn the money that you're going to want for that future spend. You see how that works? It's amazing, right? And it is possible. Like today, right now, in this marketplace, even with all the craziness that you hear that's going on, we have other remodelers and contractors who are thriving and have more leads. In fact, the problem that we're running into with some of them is helping them build out their teams, because we figured out the lead part because they got involved with our advertising and back end system, right? So now they have the leads and they're selling the jobs. So then we have to work with them to help build the team up. Now, if you already have a big team, but you don't have the leads, then we only have to do half the work for you, which is just getting you the leads. Some of you, what ends up happening is if you're smaller in business and you want to grow, it just takes time to build the whole system, right? We get the marketing, the advertising, we send that out. We get you the leads. You sell the leads. You get better at selling. So you sell them for more profit. You sell them quicker. You sell, right? And now you have to bring in another laborer, another project manager, another subcontractor so that you can handle the volume. Because if you are telling clients that you can't get to them for 2 years, unless you're doing multi-million dollar projects, they're not going to wait, right? Susie and John that are 45 and bought their house 2 years ago and just got an inheritance want their kitchen remodeled now. And if you can't get to them within the, give or take a few months, they ain't waiting typically. Some will, but a lot won't. So, and then there's a lot that'll call you initially, and when they find out that you have that long process, they ghost you because they've moved on to somebody else. And at the end of the day, if you could just be better at getting the jobs done, then you could do more jobs and you could have the business that you worked so hard to get the referral in the first place or get the lead, but then you're not even able to service the lead. So we'd love to help you. The Remodeling Academy is here, right? There's a whole lot that we do behind the scenes, and we're happy to make it easy for you. So reach out if you would like to end your business struggle. Have a great night. Thanks so much for being here, and watch this one again if you need to. Please also feel free to reach out at any time. You can ask any questions, and we can go into any part of this in more depth or detail. So if you don't have an automated system, if you don't have a website that is helping you sell while you are sleeping, understand that it's time. Take care. Thanks for being here.